Enigma by Waves is aptly named as it can create notches in a signal similar to the way phasers and flangers do. It also contains a reverb-type processor, feedback loop, low-frequency oscillator, filters in various places, and some controls that vary depending upon the setup and can be very hard to describe. They are interactive and you should experiment freely, making sure to save the interesting discoveries as it may be hard to recreate, much like the original analog synthesizers were. Before going too deep, we need to give a warning in regard to the depth control, because under certain circumstances, making sudden changes in the value can cause very loud signals. So be careful when typing in values or dragging the depth slider too quickly. Treat it like your control room volume and adjust it with as much care. There are 4 major processing and control blocks to Enigma, and they are separated into the upper and lower window partitions. Let's play a track for demonstration. The top section is called the Knotch section, where you will see the moving notch line, which is modulated by the little control section in the top right corner of the window. On the left edge of the window are the notches, where you can set the number of notches used. Below this is the stereo width control. Dragging left decreases and dragging right increases the stereo width. Make sure to always experiment with the setting, as results can be dramatic. Sometimes a full value of 100% will not have the widest stereo image for reasons too complicated for Waves to explain, but you can adjust this to see for yourself. Try setting the mix value to 100 for full wet output. The depth control is next, and it controls the depth value of the notches. Notice the graphic representation while adjusting. The phase button reverses the polarity of the notches, or their up-down orientation. The plus half button adds a half pair of notches to the upper end. Check out the graph as we toggle this button. This merely adds another zig at the end of the zigzags, and thus will change the character of the effect. The modulation section. The on-off buttons, shown as pause and play buttons, can be used to stop that crazy modulation, freeze the notches for a certain tonal character, and to automate the modulator. Next is the Waveform Selector. Here you can choose from sawtooth up, sawtooth down, triangle, sine, and square waves. Next are the rate and beat per minute controls, allowing the adjustment of the modulation in seconds or beats. The minimum maximum frequency field allows you to set the boundaries for the frequency range to be swept. Next is the feedback section. First are the feedback on-off buttons and the phase reverse switch. The decay time control is more easily thought of as a feedback control than for decay time. Longer delay values will make this clearly evident. The delay slider allows for 184 milliseconds of delay to be used. The density controls the stereo spread of the individual delays. When the density value is greater than 0, the delay times for left and right channels will be different, and when equal to 0, they will be the same, and therefore mono. Let's check out the global section now. The gain control allows you to trim the overall affected level to avoid clipping. The mix controls the wet-dry balance of the source material and Enigma. The pre-delay delays Enigma before mixing it with the dry signal. The wet button offers 3 modes: stereo, which is the standard stereo output of the wet signal; mono is the summing of the left and right wet signals; and mono plus phase reverse takes the left channel and reverses the phase and then sums it with the right channel, which usually creates more dramatic notching and effects. Let's load a factory preset as a starting point and experiment with the controls. I have found Enigma to be very useful for those times when you don't want to use the same old effect on the same old guitar, vocal, etc. The psychedelic filtering effect has come in handy with dance remixes that need a little ear candy. Try it on loops, keyboards, and other rhythmic instruments to spice things up some. Depending upon your platform, Enigma can be automated to capture some of the experimentation that can yield new combinations and effects. Make sure to check out the Enigma user guide for more related info.